Volt Typhoon is norm breaking. It went beyond surveillance or IP theft, things like that. This is pre-positioning in our networks to
which has no espionage value, no financial value.
Exactly. And for the purpose of catastrophe. It could be, they could set up a catastrophic series of events. And so there's no value in that, like you said. So that should be more concerning. That's another instance where it's like, are they out? Will we ever know they're out? They were living off the land for potentially months before this. Are they still living off the land? Can they regain their access? If we kick them out, could they regain their access some other way? There's a lot of questions about that, but I would say Volt Typhoon, as bad as Volt Typhoon was, as we've discussed, Volt Typhoon really is like, it has people aghast at like what could happen here.
And especially the intentions.
Yes.
And I think we've all known that cyber intelligence preparation of the battlefield has occurred for a long time. What we didn't necessarily know is not only do you have a foothold, but you have a beachhead into some of those at the time of their choosing.
Exactly.
And I think what made Volt a little unique is also some of the targets themselves, wastewater.
Yeah.
Guam.
Yeah.
So clearly indicative of some of their intentions.
Some of their intentions and also some of their craft, if you will. I mean, looking at edge devices, like going back to your water example, there might be one person in charge of 20 water districts in the state of Kansas, and he does it all on his phone because that's all his department can afford is just to have him. He can't have 20 people out there.
And may have 5 other jobs on top of that.
Exactly. So he might be a part-time employee, but he has this device, and if that device is not secure, then all of a sudden, boom. So I think it really exposed edge devices in our critical infrastructure, and I think that's why you're seeing people like looking at the whole totality, the tech stack, because where are the weak points, and edge devices when it comes to Volt Typhoon is a big one.
You know, wasn't that long ago that I had somebody comment in one of my videos, why are you going after China? Why aren't you going after Russia? Well, for one thing, Russia does not have cyber terrorists who are attacking our infrastructure. Russia may have a few things, but they're a little busy right now. They're going after a country that, well, you know what's going on in Ukraine. And they're also busy keeping control of the uranium market in the world. China, on the other hand, is using the products that we buy from them against us. For what, almost 2 decades, if not longer, we continuously get products into this country made in China that is killing us. I've already made videos on this. It's not that difficult to view on this. And now we have this Volt Typhoon. It's coming out that they admitted behind closed doors that that China backs them, even though that they had this big push via their folks that no, they didn't support them. But let me show you another video. You got to see the video at the beginning. I'm going to show you a couple more videos and let you get the full picture.
Howdy y'all, this is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Just now from Hong Kong. Give us a bit more detail about this, Christy.
Yeah, sure. Let's dig into this report from Microsoft and this group that's known as Volt Typhoon. This is a state-sponsored Chinese hacking group that Microsoft says has been spying on American critical infrastructure. In this report that just came out, it was released on Wednesday, Microsoft says that the group is out to disrupt critical communications between the U.S. and Asia in the event of a crisis. Microsoft says that this group, Volt Typhoon, has been active since mid-2021. It has targeted critical infrastructure in parts of the U.S., including the U.S. territory of Guam. Now, Guam is home to strategic U.S. military installations. It's also the site of a major communications hub between the U.S. and the Asia-Pacific region. Now, I want you to look at this full-screen graphic of sectors, according to Microsoft, that are targeted by this Chinese hacking group. They include construction, education, government, IT, manufacturing, maritime, telecom, transport, and utility. Microsoft published details of the code online. You can find it there so users can find and remove the code, but also added that it's going to be tough. Detecting and mitigating this attack, it says, could be challenging. Now, China has responded to the report. It has slammed it. In fact, in the last hour at a Ministry of Foreign Affairs briefing, we heard from the spokesperson spring up the statement. This we heard from Mao Ning, who said this, quote, "This is a collective disinformation campaign of the Five Eyes coalition countries by the U.S. for geopolitical purposes," unquote. Of course, this report comes as tensions continue to simmer between China and the U.S. over a whole slew of issues, from Taiwan, from tech, and of course, territorial disputes in the Asia-Pacific region. Back to you guys.
Christy in Hong Kong, thank you.
You just saw that video. Look, it really is that bad. That video was from 2023. So you've got that from 2023. This has been going on for a while. And yet we continuously have companies and U.S. consumers that are buying products made in China. Made in China is fueling all of this. If you don't believe me, actually study up what is going on. So you've got our money going into making sure that we are weakened. Yet people continuously ignore it. They keep buying made in China products, and they complain that, oh, Trump's doing bad things by doing what he's doing and trying to get manufacturing. We won't have manufacturing. And they listen to what Steve Jobs said, where he said that America can't make these products. Well, America can't make these products because we have a government that has hurt our ability to do that. We have an education system funded and controlled by a Department of Education that was horrific and was controlled by the unions. But let me show you this one last video.
Chinese hackers are going after American property, and they're showing no signs of stopping or slowing down. The National Security Agency has specifically warned about a Chinese hacking group called Volt Typhoon. They've been targeting U.S. infrastructure like electric grid operators, water systems, and shipping ports. In some cases, the hackers can get in and maintain access to the networks for at least 5 years, lying dormant until they're ready to strike.
China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities.
This gives Volt Typhoon the ability to conduct potentially destructive cyber attacks at will, crippling the services everyday Americans rely on at a moment's notice.
If and when China decides the time has come to strike. They're not focused just on political and military targets. We can see from where they position themselves across civilian infrastructure that low blows aren't just a possibility in the event of a conflict. Low blows against civilians are part of China's plan.
China isn't utilizing incredibly sophisticated technology to do this either. Many of the tactics used are actually pretty standard for a relatively skilled hacker. They're just so persistent with their hacking attempts that eventually groups like Volt Typhoon are able to get in. The vulnerable state of U.S. infrastructure cybersecurity makes the problem even bigger. The level of coordination needed to combat these attacks just doesn't exist. Take the U.S. water system, for example. It has at least 150,000 individual operations, each run by different entities and individuals. That level of fragmentation exists throughout all 16 critical infrastructure sectors in the country. Federal agencies are now advising operators on best practices to prevent these cybersecurity breaches in the future. They say that implementing multi-factor authentication and regularly reviewing network activity logs can help stop persistent Chinese hackers from getting through.
So yeah, here's what we know right now. A meeting took place between China and the U.S. in Geneva in December. The remarks made at the meeting by Chinese officials were indirect and somewhat ambiguous, but American delegation interpreted that the attacks tracked as Volt Typhoon were conducted in response to the U.S. supporting Taiwan, Wall Street Journal reported. Conclusion of American officials after the meeting was that the cyber attacks were meant to scare U.S. from getting involved in a potential conflict between China and Taiwan. Yep, that's what's going on. These are a Chinese. They have, and they're not just attacking the U.S. They're attacking New Zealand, UK, Canada, Australia. They confirm that Volt Typhoon has compromised the IT environments of multiple critical infrastructure systems, primarily in communications, energy, transportation systems, and water and wastewater system sectors in the continental and non-continental U.S. and its territories, including Guam. So they're attacking us. What are we doing about it? It may not be actual military attacks. It may not be, but you take a look at all the spying that they're doing inside this country. So what are we doing about it? Seriously, this is communications, energy, transportation systems, water and wastewater systems. Basically, they could disrupt this country in a way that could harm people. It's like the BLM riots. It's really the BLM Antifa riots. This is exactly the same thing. You'd think I'm joking about that. I'm not. You've got two groups that are blocking roads. You've got Chinese government that is taking control of all those systems. So what are we going to do? Think about that. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.